push-ups.
100.
Otherwise, it will sound like I'm passing the punishment. I'm not.
Self self punishment.
Self-imposed punishment.
Self imposed punishment.
The joy of exercise. Today, Amit's going to demonstrate the joy of exercise. Yeah, get your butt down. Come on.
6, 7, 8.
Push, 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 push.
Next participant.
Okay, shall we begin?
Yeah.
Right. The last time we were chatting was about boundaries and how do we set boundaries for ourselves and for you as an organization. And what do those boundaries mean? And are boundaries necessarily imprisoning, or can they be seen a little differently? Right? And of greater importance is what we choose to do for ourselves uh, in comparison to what people do for you. So it's possible for you to have an organization where you set boundaries and you say, okay, so everybody needs to be here at 10 o'clock. And then the person who says it becomes responsible for everybody else's behavior. But if we set our own boundaries and we say that there's purpose behind what we do, and we're doing things for a particular reason, and if it's an office, then we just get there. And that's kind of culturally we're not very good at this. So most things are kind of chalta hai. Arey 5 minutes se kya hoga? So I'm going to use a concept called the line. And I know some of you have been through it, and you were missing, I think. And you, yeah. Last session we just kind of chatted. And we're going to use this line. So, can you pick that up? Yeah, just hold it. So, most of them know what we're talking about. So, we'll just work with you for this one, for the beginning. What is this? Okay. What does it do?
Can tie things together. Can
Right. If you look at it as a rope.
If you look at it as
But if you look at it as a line, what is this line doing? What is the rope doing?
dividing the whole,
Dividing? What is it dividing?
whatever medium it has been placed.
Yeah. So, in the context of us holding this rope, what is it doing?
Connecting you to
Yeah. Imagine that it was put down on the
put down
ground.
on the ground. It's creating a link between
Okay.
you and that person.
So let's put it down for now. Now, what is it doing? Huh?
Nothing.
Is it dividing? You mentioned dividing earlier, right?
Yeah.
Is it dividing?
If you perceive it.
Go on. So perceive it. So give it as many meanings as you think you can.
So now that it is put on the ground, I see that it divides 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against 1, 2, 3 on that side.
Right. Interesting. You're using the word against, but that's fine. But it's separating some people
Separating.
from others. Yeah. So let's just expand the idea of the line. And what are some other lines that divide? Beliefs, ideology,
principles,
yeah,
processes,
yeah,
goals,
yeah. Countries,
countries.
yeah. Okay. So lines divide
Mhm.
at its simplest. You put a line, you draw a line, and it divides one space from another.
Correct.
Okay. Just introducing terminology. Now, if we were to pick it up and hold it, now what is this line doing? It's
Now,
dividing. It's dividing space. What
correct.
would you call this space? Anybody?
Yeah.
Huh?
Office space, he said.
Yeah. Okay. But we're holding it up, right? So it divides this side from this side. What else does it divide? This side from that
That
side.
side, yeah.
So what would you call this? Top and bottom? Yeah. So below the line, above the line? Okay.
Okay.
Simple enough, right? Okay. So all lines divide. And so we're just going to use that terminology of below the line and above the line. And this is in the context of behaviors. So anything that's below the line prevents us from doing things. Anything that's above the line supports or helps us achieve things. Okay, so far? Okay. Think of something that you haven't achieved yet, but want to. You don't have to tell me what it is, but just keep it in your mind. Yeah? Okay. Why have you not achieved it yet? Boundaries? And who drew those boundaries? The boundary is also a line. Tell me more. People. So you've not been able to achieve something because of people. Okay. What is it people are doing that prevents you from achieving what you want?
Maybe not getting into the process of achieving that
So
that goal.
your expectations from people,
Yeah.
right? So it's not people themselves, it's just the expectations you have. Okay. What else?
Effort
Effort?
either in the wrong direction or lack of
There
effort.
is no wrong and right. Effort, if you knew it was wrong, would you do it?
Maybe if we don't know if
You
that is
don't
the
know,
wrong
right?
effort, then
Yeah, you discover that
you're
only after
trying,
the
but
fact.
you're doing in a different direction, and at some point you realize that maybe was correct.
Cool. So you put in effort and then you wonder why you're not able to achieve something. And at some point in time, you might and you might not.
Right.
What else prevents us from achieving anything?
Not taking action at right time.
Not
Time
taking
didn't
action.
pass.
Yeah.
So
Why do you not take action?
I think so. Laziness.
Laziness. Okay.
Like sometimes it's like I know that it's not going to work before taking action. And then
Before taking
taking action.
right.
Resuming it
Where does
won't
the
work.
idea that something will not work come from? What's the thinking going on in your head?
Similar experiences which have been felt.
Right. So the past prevents you from being able to achieve something, right? Something. What else?
Mindset.
What's that mindset? Describe.
I think it overlaps what you just said, that something that has happened in the past creates a certain uh,
So what are you saying to
assumption or a
yourself?
framework that you can't do it.
Okay, I can't do it,
Mm.
right? So I can't do it, and then you don't.
Yeah.
Okay, what else?
Like it's not an always existing thing,
Mhm.
but it sort of pops in and out of
Sure.
existence depending on
Sure. I'm
how.
trying to find out what are some other things that prevent us from achieving anything. So one is so mindset is a big word, right? The whole idea about a mindset. There's a lot of theory around that. What are some other mindsets that, or things that we say to ourselves, or things that we think that prevent us from achieving anything? I can hear your brain.
Are we going for like an umbrella picture of something, or are we
Right
talking
now,
about
it's
specifics?
now we're going into specifics
Specifics.
of what prevents. Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that if somebody really wants something, anything can really prevent it. But it's also a matter of the timeline, whether you're ready for it or not. It's a matter of your process, figuring out the right process that aligns with your, and figuring out like people that also align with you in that situation.
Yeah.
In that also communication and lack of boundaries is what will prevent it.
Okay. So let's take everybody else out of the picture. Any task has dependencies. I'm saying park them for a while. What prevents you from achieving anything? What part of that mindset is stopping you from achieving something? What are you saying to yourself?
It's lack of action.
Why? Why do we not take action even when we know it may be necessary?
Subconsciously, you don't want to get there. It's like
Why?
limiting beliefs about
I
yourself.
get it. Why? Now, let's make that subconscious, unarticulated piece real.
Maybe because you think you'd fail.
Because, right. So, fear of failure. Okay. What else? We could go on. So, fear of failure. What other fears exist?
It's not a fear, but like not having the right tools to uh, achieve the goal.
I said leave dependencies aside.
Okay.
If you had a choice, what would you do? We can blame the world and say I don't have the tools,
Mhm.
but we can also do other things, and we often don't.
Right.
Time.
Social embarrassment.
Social embarrassment. Yeah. What will people say? Yeah. And why are we afraid of what people will say?
Even I do. Like, honestly, to some extent, everybody is.
Okay. How about not being right?
I didn't get that.
Fear of failure, fear of not being right, fear of not being perfect with it, because some part of our brain's looking for the best solution, perfectionism. Yeah. Okay. You talked about laziness. Tell me more. Is it just laziness? What's the force behind laziness? Excuses. And we give it excuses because proved wrong. We don't want to be proved wrong. Okay. Tell me more about excuses. We've heard them before, right? Okay. In our conversations. Yeah.
About like
You know your story, right? Yeah. And just talk about that. I mean, just remember that whatever you're saying, we're all pretty much the same, pretty much in the same place, right?
maybe for me it's gym,
Okay.
right? So if I want to go to the gym, but I want the uh, like the gains and everything, but giving basic excuses like I don't have time or I have this or that, I don't have practice. But I can like reschedule it, but something don't match up. There's some restrictions because of that. Just sometimes it doesn't work.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, mainly giving excuses because having the fear that if I do it and I prove the people that have doubted me right,
Hmm.
so like self-doubt.
So part of that piece is also what people are going to say.
Mm.
Yeah.
Really proving them right that I'm not gonna make it.
Yeah.
So that.
How about competition?
Probably the biggest one.
Big one, right? A lot of people, the moment I bring up the word competition, people will often say, competition is good, no? But competition means winners and losers, and usually only one winner. And what are the chances that we will be that one winner? So, the idea in our head that I may not be that one winner, so I may as well not get into that whole game. So, that prevents us from taking action as well. Any other things that you come up with?
Fear of time, completing that.
Of not being able to, not being able to finish something. Yeah, okay. I mean, what's the problem if you don't finish on time? Ah, the consequences of not doing it. So, is the fear of not finishing it on time, or is it the fear of consequences? Right, right. And okay, great. So now we've got about 10 different things that prevent us from doing stuff, right? And you know your own reasons. Is there a way around this, or is that how we're going to live? Right. What perspective can we get now that we know that these fears, and most of them are fears, right, are similar, yet we continue to live the same way? Any alternatives? Okay. There's another. Go ahead.
So the alternative for laziness would be getting some project or anything to make you work more, something like that. That's the
Yeah, but
alternative.
why would you do anything? If you're intrinsically lazy and not wanting to do something, why would you choose to do anything? What kind of thinking is going to get us to that place where we say, okay, enough laziness, I'm going to get into action? What? Oh, reward is easy. But who's going to give you the reward? It's like, think of it this way. You guys come to this office, right? You work. You know what you have to do. When you have to do it, you do it. But you can keep doing that and being responsive only to the need of the hour, not necessarily choosing to, let's say, educate yourself. I'm just giving you an example, right? So you can do the same thing again and again and again and again. And after a while, you say, oh my God, I'm just getting tired doing, and it may be marginally different. If you want to do something, so you can get to boredom very quickly. And I mean, Instagram is helping us do that. So if we wanted to put in new energy into anything that we do, what could we do? So far we've talked about stuff. We've talked about stuff below the line. All the things we talked about were here. In this space. Prevents us from, and the line separates these two spaces. In one place is fear, inaction, competition, what do people say, all the different kinds of fears, being fixed about something, so not being able to move from a particular idea or a way of thinking. Right? All this is below the line. What can we do for ourselves to be able to move from here to here? Is the question clear?
Taking accountability, like understanding that you will be eventually responsible for your everything and anything that happens in life. So I just, when, like, a lot, now this is a very bad example maybe, but when probably you won't eat healthy, but you will make sure your child eats healthy. So that's taking responsibility of your child. So I don't know, maybe just treat yourself like your child.
How? What will you say to yourself? What will you do? Because you're absolutely right, and that example is interesting from a point of view that when we can't do something, we want other people to fill in that gap.
Yeah.
But we're not doing it for ourselves. And this conversation is really about ourselves.
Yeah.
Because it's easy for you to tell somebody else in this group saying, hey, listen, you know what? Today is a lazy day for me. You do this.
Yeah.
Or it's good for you to do.
Yeah.
Or you benefit from it. You know, it's stories. Somebody's always telling somebody else what the good things in life are. But I think my conversation today is about what boundaries do we draw for ourselves. And those boundaries often hold us below the line. And is there a way to change that?
I think personally that's how sometimes I think when I don't want to probably do something. It's just like I am responsible for it, for whatever happens to me, so I will do it. And eventually it's gotten better. I may not be there yet, but it's gotten better.
What did you say to yourself?
No, it's just like reminding or just like thinking that you're going to be responsible for everything that happens to you, even if it's external, like things you can't foresee everything, but eventually it's what you do after, before everything. That's, yeah, I can't blame anyone.
Okay, great. And then what do you do?
Then you think about whatever issue at hand or whatever it is.
Because this is your story.
Okay, so then I think about like what would the better or alternative process would be, or what I can do to get it done, and then I work towards that.
And then you do the whole thing, or do you do a step at a time? What do you do?
Some days it's step at a time, some days it's I can go all in. So it
So in some way, you're moving from below the line to achieving
Yeah.
something which is above the line.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm still curious about why.
The why is this?
Is it
this
just getting it done? I mean, eventually.
no? Is this getting it done, or more like what I want to be and what I don't want to be? Not in terms of externally, just like who I am as a person. That
who you
makes
want to be.
yes.
And
Why are you looking at me like that?
what is it? What is it you want to be? Do you have any words to describe that? In that context? So just take the gym example, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I want to work out every day. I want to be fit, like no matter what.
Because what's a good reason?
The good reason is because I like it also, and I don't want to be fat. Sorry.
Okay. How do I move from getting out of bed to going to the gym?
No, I don't go to the gym, but I work.
That's just an example, right? So that was because it was his example. I'm just picking it up. But
It's
talk
a
of context.
choice.
Choice. Okay. And you make that choice some days and some days you don't.
No, some days I make it less. Like if some days it's 30 minutes, 1 hour. Some days it's 15 minutes.
Okay. So let's just use the word choice. Anybody else? What choices do you make when you choose to get up on that wonderful day and you actually go to the gym?
So I usually go to the gym in the afternoon, but like I get out of here at like 7ish, and then I go to gym at 7:30.
You do go.
Yeah, no, not every day now,
Yeah,
because
so-
I have like practice and everything. But other than that, and it's like, what's something better that I could be doing other than going to the gym? So I just rather choose that over just chilling or just.
So you're making choices that are not necessarily working towards being healthier by going to the gym.
Yeah, I mean, if I was meeting friends, or if I could be going out and having fun, or like driving a bike, for instance, then I would have to choose, and that would be a hard choice. But then if I'm just not doing anything, I'm like, what's the point of just sitting here? I'd rather go to the gym and work out for an hour or two.
Oh, so that's the last choice.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
So sounds like you pretty much manage going to the gym and your exercising choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not entirely, but
Yeah, some days will be lousy, some days will be good,
Yeah.
some days you'll be happy about making the choice, and some days you say, oh God, I should have gone to that party.
yeah. But like that, there have been instances where I was like, should have gone. But I mean, it's again like my decision to not go, and then being hard stuck on the fact that I need to go even if I like it or not.
Okay.
Like some days there that I don't want to go, or I'm feeling sick, I'm just feeling a bit drowsy. But then I end up going anyways because I'm like,
And you find
what's
some
the-
good reasons not to go.
some days,
Some days,
yeah.
yeah.
But the other days I'm like, why not?
Are they true?
Yeah. Like, yeah, every time, yeah. But I make sure I go. Like one time I had a high fever, and then mom told me not to go, but I'm like, I'm bored anyways, so might as well go for a few hours. Not hours, but like an hour or so. Just get it done.
And you went.
Yeah.
So, both scenarios there's this exercising of choice that appears to be bringing a different energy. Yeah?
Yeah.
Any other context? Yeah.
So a bigger picture, lost of reason. So initially when I used to play, there was a reason to do a workout or to go to the gym. Like on the match day, I would perform way better. But now I'm not playing any tournaments or anything. So there is no reason, like a solid reason to show up to a gym to work out or just for that matter to run. So the loss of the reason would be my bigger
So,
or
are you finding other reasons not to go?
there was only one reason I would go on ground.
Right.
So
So
I
now, if
was
that's missing, then it's over.
yeah. So I had to
But
find
yeah,
another.
but you are exercising choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes for me, it's also like the entire act of doing something, building a routine, is to be able to eventually get something out of it. And sometimes I find myself too stuck or fixated on the reward, consequence, outcome of it, and that is attached with expectations. So my expectation is not in the process, and I don't like doing those things, but it's directly onto that, be it workout, be it work, be it anything in my personal dynamic with someone. If I don't see the expectation, then I don't want to do it. And I think sometimes that puts me in a loop of just thinking about it, versus there are times when I have found that, if I just drop my expectations of whether it will work or not and just fall in love with the process of doing it, then it becomes easier. Then I'm not thinking about, like, I haven't worked out in God knows probably the last 4 or 5 years, but when I used to, it wasn't about kimiko ripped physique chahiye, but I like getting up, taking a bath, taking a 15-minute walk, going to the gym, and doing that routine. And I have dropped my expectations, but what happens in a couple of weeks is the reward or the consequence or the outcome comes to you eventually by nature of the things that you are doing. So I mean, it's easier said than done. I don't remember it all the time, but I have to constantly remind myself that, drop your expectations and just do this one thing that is in front of you. So
And it's not going to happen in one day, and you need to put in the effort before
yeah,
you.
I mean, I think it's not going to happen in one life. It
Right.
just seems like a huge task to do, to be able to, because there are so many decisions to make. And uh, especially someone like me, being an overthinker about things, more than thinking about what decision needs to be made, I keep thinking about, oh, how many decisions there are to be made.
Okay, so I think what we've established is that any choice, any decisions we make about uh, almost anything is influenced or happen or don't happen based on not the external environment, but pretty much by the choices we make. That makes sense? Okay, so here's the question. You guys work together. You got different projects. You distribute the work. There's a certain system, a process that you have. And at the end of it, you deliver something to a client. That might happen once, twice, on a repeated basis. Sometimes your work goes on for a few months. In your opinion, is it the best you can do? Now, the conversation is not going towards if I had training, if I had more time. We're not going, the intention here is not to blame the world or circumstance or environment or anything, because we've established that we're all exercising choice. Are we clear on this? Great. So, wherever you are, with whatever skills you bring, whatever education you've had, whatever experience you have, with all that, you're also bringing this thing called choice. So my question is really in the context of that you're making the choices that matter to you. In your opinion, are you doing the best you can? And I'm just going to add another word, today. Because that best might change from day to day, but that's also a choice we are making.
For me personally, it has been always a graph
On it peaks out and then it suddenly drops for a day or two, like maximum 3 days, and then it's again picking up. It's like a cardiograph, like it's peaking, peaking, peaking. It
So you've
suddenly
got
drops
your
out of nowhere.
yeah,
Yeah.
peaks and troughs.
My question: how do we decide what's the best that we can do? What are the parameters of Vedas?
You're the only, well, if, is the question supposed to be repeated or?
Yeah, repeat it.
Okay. So, what are I think there's a question. What are the parameters on which you decide what is your best? I think you know. And you're the only one who knows. So, your peaks and troughs that you're talking about, that some days it's really the best. Why is that?
I'm still really figuring it out.
Just
I
figuring
think so. Yeah. I think so.
Does it have anything to do with choice?
No, not at all. Like it just happens. Like,
Not
there's
good enough. Hey, if I employ you,
like it has happened. Like yeah,
do you think I'm going to accept this?
no.
Yeah.
I think when you asked why do you think that happens, and Pushkarat said that he doesn't know yet or he's figuring it out. I think in my mind, for myself, I see it as the emergence of whatever points we discussed that were below the line. And when that happens, the doubt and questioning begins, which I think puts me in a state where I subconsciously or sometimes consciously make the choice of not giving it my best.
Great. So what I'm hearing you say is that doubt is one of the factors is one of the factors that drops our performance. Okay. Do I have choice about whether to doubt myself?
It sounds like a trick question.
It is. What do you see? The moment you put it outside you, the moment. Please say that again.
Sometimes it's not, you're not doubting yourself, you're doubting the process. Like, is this the right way? Is this will like the
So now you put it
probability
outside
is
you.
very less of like going through
Sure,
this.
whatever that process is, it could be his mood when he walks in, and you start doubting the process.
If it's
Because
like
there's
you're going for a pitch
interdependence.
and somebody you're
Yeah,
going
yeah.
with is not in a
Right? Yeah. Take that away. Remember, we said it's easy to blame the system.
Mm.
And my question is, do we have choice about that? Whether I blame the system or not. Yeah? So you're making a choice and you're putting the energy outside and saying, it's not me, I'm doing my best. It's the
No,
process
not like
that is a
that.
problem.
Not necessarily like blaming someone, it's just like the probability of everything coming into place is
I
slightly
agree.
less.
I agree. But if the drop in performance is a result of something outside you, that's what we're hearing, then what you are doing is saying that because of that, my performance has dropped.
Not really. I'm still looking at the result part of it. I'm not saying that this is why this is not working or anything.
You're still putting it outside you.
So individually also, like maybe I'm not able to get someone to like
Of course.
or making the right
Yeah,
choices
you
for
have no
this thing.
control over other people.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you have control over you?
I think so.
That's my question. That when something like that comes up, and if I asked you, okay, let's just say that it didn't happen, whatever was supposed to happen didn't happen, and I ask you the question, did you do your best?
The
I'm not
best.
feeling so good.
But then
I won't
again,
go to the
wouldn't
gym, Yeah.
but then again, wouldn't be doubting yourself? Did I perform the best or did I?
No, just asking the question that something didn't happen, right?
Hmm.
So, very often I work with people, right, like this, and somebody wants that group of people to change, and I know I don't have the power to change anybody. I only have the power to take what I think I know and to apply it in a particular context and create a certain conversation, a certain mood. So, um, uh, at the end of the day, if somebody came up to me and asked me, did anything change for them? And I don't know. But if I was asked this question, did you do your best? I think I would have an answer, and I think we have an answer. Without putting it outside and saying, oh, but the group wasn't interested. Do you? So in whatever we do individually, do you bring your best? And do you know what that is? Because we've established that choice can keep us below the line or it can take us above the line. So my next question is, how do I move from that place of I can't do it, this is happening, it's not a good day, I'm not feeling well, it's raining, there's too much traffic.
Not renegotiating with what you have to do.
How do I do that? Because, so it's like it's exercising choice. Yeah. So, what would you do? Is there anything consciously we could do to move from below the line, which is holding us back, to above the line? So, those 3 days, you know your pattern. Think about it. Lost to the organization, lost to yourself. So, if you do one day's work and you're away for 3 days, away meaning, you know,
On such days, if you actually do something that's difficult and you get through that, you actually get to a better point.
what can I do to go above the line?
Make the
Consciously.
choice of doing whatever you have to do. Like sometimes I also don't like to work out. But then when I do it, I know I'm going to feel better.
Okay. So what will you do?
I'll just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
What are you going to say to yourself? So just do it is one option.
That's what I say. And
Okay.
Yeah, I also just was mapping my peaks and when I was falling. I think so. When there is a lot of churning of your thoughts continuously, then that's the point. I think so. I drop of like too many of thoughts, like not doing anything, but just thinking of doing something. That that is churning.
Any ideas on what you could do to stop that cycle?
I think so. Taking one thought out of that 10 thoughts and working on that only.
Just
rather
choosing,
choosing
making a choice
one,
of
yeah,
doing one thing
yeah,
or whatever small step it might
or
be.
stopping imaginative doing. Like I'm already doing it. Like workout for that matter, I will watch a workout video and I'm already thinking, okay, I'm doing that
I'm going to
workout.
do that. Okay.
Yeah, like being too much into future, like that might help.
Right. So
I'm just trying to figure it
look
out.
at the immediate next step.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I could take it to a different place right now because now the metaphor is really the ladder. So, for example, if you're here, if you're below the line, yeah, and you want to go above, think of it as I wish we had a ladder, but you can imagine a ladder, right?
Yeah.
And you're saying the ladder has rungs. And sometimes we think, oh, I want to go to the top of the ladder. But there's a lot that can be done even with the first step. And often we're constantly saying, oh, I need to be above. Yeah, great. But that above, getting above means taking that first step. So here's the question. In the context of where you work and what you do, if you had to take that one step to be the best you can, what might that step sound like? What is it that you would do?
Focus on doing it.
Yeah, but what does that do for you?
It would
Give me
set
an
the
example.
tempo.
You're the only one who knows what you're dealing with, right? And I don't need to know the story. But can you tell me one thing that you would do starting today? Just that one thing. It may be the first rung of the ladder. That's fine.
Out of the 10 things, probably I'll just pick only one thing that I would
Which is the one you're?
which is
What is it you're?
easier to do.
What is it you're picking? See, if you can't see it, you
Yeah.
won't do it. This is a question for all of you, so I'd love to hear.
what's the one thing you would do to get started?
Yeah, that first.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything that's preventing you from being the best you can at any point in time. It might change day to day, but if I asked you this question today and said, today, let's just look at today. What step are you going to take towards doing rather than just thinking or blaming?
So in my context, rather I would say that the first step would be taking that one decision. Like
Okay.
because of the confusion of doing so many things, what should be the first thing to do? Whatever randomly, I'll pick one thing, take a decision, and make it through.
Right. Now don't make it random anymore. Make it specific. And you don't have to tell me. Let's assume that there's a client and you have to make some. You know what decisions you're going to make, right? Okay.
Yeah.
What are you going to make a decision about today?
To finish certain amount of work. No
You can
matter
see what
Yeah.
it is, right?
Correct.
Very specific. Okay, great. I'd love to know whether how you deal with it today at some point. Yeah? Okay. What are you going to do?
I don't necessarily have this. Like, if I know I have to do something, I'm going to do it. Like, if even if it's like, or sometimes maybe you'll have to continuous process of like how you think and how
Yeah,
this
that's
that.
life. Are you below the line about anything in your life? By the way, denial is below the line. An
I
example of
must be. I'm thinking about
yeah.
what.
No, I just wanted to throw it in there because sometimes the language we use, denial that I don't have a problem is also one of the things
Huh,
that holds
huh.
us back. I just wanted to throw that word there, but it's not
Yeah.
in your context.
Yeah.
So,
No, it could be. I may
yeah,
not be
okay,
aware of it yet.
cool.
Yeah, small things that I've been
One.
putting off.
Small,
Sorry?
small, not necessary. Plural, not necessary. One thing you're going to do today to move from where you are. So you're exercising conscious choice and saying, today I'm going to do that one thing. That's your first step on the ladder. What is it?
In terms of work,
Life.
I'm going to complete some things that I was supposed to complete yesterday.
You know what it is that.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm going to write down my thoughts first of all and just prioritize which is the most most worthy to work on.
You know, that's another thinking trap, right?
I'm not aware of that because that is something I've been told of. Like
And
if
I'm
you're
saying, if you say that the writing down is the thing that you're going to do, that's cool.
yeah
That's your first step.
yeah
Also, know that once you get into the writing, if you don't move it to the next rung, you will actually go back to that same place of procrastination about thinking rather than doing. I'm just saying,
yeah
yeah?
I would like to hear from you like what should I do then.
So, you're going to make a list.
Yeah.
Have you ever written these things down before?
No.
No. That's your wrong. That's your first step.
That is no.
And that's fine. But I'd like to know now that writing is going to, but it's not action.
Okay.
But you're not going to see action. So the writing is the action today. But see if you can choose one of those things to really move and do it. Not just say, oh, this is now you've prioritized. What are you going to do with that?
And take action. That's
On which one?
the first one.
Clear?
Yeah.
Right. And you're going to do that today.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you. And you know the picture in your mind, right?
Yeah.
And I'd love to know next time we meet, what you've
For
done
sure.
with
For
it.
sure. For sure.
Can you repeat it? What's the question?
What's the exercise? Okay. So, see, you don't speak up, so I don't know what's in your head. I've heard everybody else's voice. So, we were talking about below the line stuff. That's what prevents us from doing things. We also saw that there's something, the word we used was choice, that you have a choice about whether you want to do it or not. And we are constantly exercising choice, which means that anything that you're not doing, you're actually consciously choosing not to do it. Right? Is there anything in your life in your life or in the context of work, that you're feeling lazy about, which you're saying, yeah, important nahi hai, or nobody is asking, so I'm not going to respond? Is there anything in your life that's going on like that which you want to do, but you've always found excuses?
Mm, yes, like the workout only. Nobody's gonna ask me like you work out or not, but I'm lazy about it. But I want to do it because I want to have a great, like, live a healthy life and have a great physique, all that. But
Why say I want to have a good physique and that's those are the reasons.
yes, अच्छा. तर yes, but
So you know you want to work out.
yes.
You know you want a better physique. You know you want to look better.
Yes.
Yeah. But you have not done anything about it. You're just thinking about it, right? Is there any one action you can take today,
अच्छा.
just one, towards that?
Okay. So I already took today. I woke up and got to the gym today.
Today?
Yes.
You're going to go to the gym today?
Yes.
Okay. So next time we meet, you're going to let me know whether you did go or not.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. I'm so happy you young guys are into this whole gym thing. I wish my son also made some decisions about that. I know, but I mean, is he compensating for you or what?
So I find myself to be overly sensitive about things, personal or professional, and the first thing that I realize that I need to do is keep the emotion out of it and not let the uh, negativity of the outcome creep in.
We're designed to feel.
Hmm.
How are you going to? Can I grill you on this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
How are you going to? Okay. Just in terms of response to our world, there's an interesting sequence. We sense, we feel, we think, and then make choices about doing or not.
Yeah.
So your feeling is going to hit you much before you think about it.
Hmm.
How are you going to deal with that feeling? What are you going to say to yourself?
So one thing that I have been sort of practicing since the moment you said that uh, the graph that we were building, feeling, thinking, doing, watching. At one point, you said center is the place to be, and I sort of theoretically.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I have made it a practice before going to sleep every night. I know that I have to wake up at 0 the next morning. So, and that has been giving me some sort of framework to when I become aware of. And one thing that I have been doing is, like I was talking about what I did in the car. Uh, Apart from that instance, there are many other things that I talk to many people in my life about, that this is something that I'm learning and it's helping, and just talking about it, sharing about it could be useful to you, but I'm not doing it for them. I'm just doing it as a reminder to myself that the more I talk about it, the more I'm
More you
creeping it
understand
into
it.
practice,
Yeah.
and the more I
Yeah.
build different perspectives
Nice.
on that thing. But I have been, or at least I think I'm getting closer to 0. And I think that is what I'm not saying that I don't want to be affected by it. I don't want to feel that way. Obviously, that's instinctive, and you can never change it or do anything about it. But I think a couple of hours of delayed gratification follows when I find myself at 0 the next morning. I'm not saying that I will practice the day being at 0 and then make decisions accordingly. But I think I've gotten the first 5% of that right. That I'm trying to get towards zero.
Yeah.
So
So,
I don't want. I'm not saying I don't want to be affected by it, but what I'm saying is I will try my best to not let tomorrow be affected by it.
got it. So, what I'm hearing you say is you're going to exercise conscious choice about what to do
Yeah.
with what is felt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the
Absolutely.
feeling is inevitable,
Mm.
but I can either choose to go that way or not.
Yeah. And I have like an example that was told to me by someone, which is where I really felt good about myself. That hey, it's not just some elaborate philosophy that I'm building in my mind कि ये सब मैं करता हूँ या ये knowledge मेरे पास है. But there was we're doing some asset liquidation from Strode. So we have a lot of tablets and we sold 10 of them to someone. 6 months ago we were in a conversation with someone, वो बंदा, and our asking price was 2 lakhs for 10 tablets. वो बंदा 4 लाख रुपए लेके भाग गया है 6 महीने पहले. जो हम लोग, and he has been dodging calls left, right and center, but we found out about that after 6 months through and through. Somebody gave us the number of the client that we were talking to, and he was like, dude, what is your company? That guy approached us 6 months ago and I've already paid him 4 lakhs and I haven't received anything. So my first response to that would have been just overthinking
Anger.
about things and do
Yeah.
this, do that, kya tha, kaun tha. I did not get affected by it. I was like, keep this aside. Solution is this. My asking price is not 4 lakhs, it's 2 lakhs. Talk to me about your business. Is this still a need or a requirement to you? Will you be comfortable paying this amount? And I helped him figure out his asset recovery and how it makes sense for him to still go out and purchase this, which principally is a difficult thing to do, right? If you've paid
Yeah.
किसी ब्रांड के नाम पे 4 लाख रुपया किसी को ऑलरेडी दिया है, कोई तो लेके भाग गया है. He has no idea if it's me or not, but eventually it did work out. And Sumit told me that you generally get very affected by these things, and I was surprised that this did not do anything to you, and you immediately jumped onto the solution mindset to it.
Yeah. So, classic example of below the line possibility
Yeah.
and then choosing to be above the line and saying,
Yeah.
like, so possibility is above the line.
Right.
Collaboration, which is what you possibly did,
Mm.
is also above the line.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Thank you.
So now you're conscious. So that applies to almost anything and everything. It doesn't have to be huge emotional upheavals.
Yeah.
It can be just simple conversations.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Nice. What are you going to do? Just for yourself.
In
One
terms
thing.
of in terms of what?
Your life or anything that's holding you back, and that first step on that ladder, what would that be like, sound like, look like?
To work towards my goal. For
Yeah.
me, I
Of
think
what's that? What's that goal?
be it any goal, suppose going to the gym or
Choose one. This is just as an experiment because we said we have the freedom to actually exercise choice. But we stay below the line and then complain about the world, right? I'm saying any one thing that you can do anything about and take that step, what would that be? You've heard what their steps are, right?
so
I'm asking you also.
in terms of gym, right? Today, I don't know if I can do much.
Ah, there you go, man. You're already below the line.
No,
Tell me what you can do and will do.
I'll try making time for it because I have a good reason for it. I have practice that I have to attend.
Right. So then don't choose that because you already know it.
Yeah.
Right? Anything else?
In practice, the
Okay.
Pathak practice that I go to. Not everyone is doing their best, but try to teach them and get them at par with everybody else, make them coordinate.
No, this is about you, not about them.
Not about no, like just teaching them
What are you going to do differently?
differently, individually tell them right how it's supposed to be done, or how to coordinate with others, or how to coordinate with me, for instance. So tell them what they're supposed to do better than they are right now.
How's that different from what you've always done?
I don't always tell people what they're supposed to do. I expect them to like. Sometimes I expect them to understand, not just
And they don't understand.
yeah.
Right.
And I don't usually try telling them, "Ki do it like that, do it like this." So trying to make them
So
understand.
today you're going to make that effort to
Yeah.
tell them
Yes.
and be a little kind about it.
Because usually I'm like during practice, and this is something that I love doing, and I would do it only once a year. So I'm like very emotional about it. Right. The Ganpati is my favorite festival. So I don't want anything to go wrong. So because of that, I get very angry and I get very mad and I get very harsh. So trying to be a bit more
So
kinder, calmer.
you're choosing to be kinder this time.
Hmm.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me know how it goes.
Yeah.
What's your thing?
So currently I'm multitasking a lot and I'm not able to do everything with justice. So I have to try and figure out how to do everything at the same time without disappointing anybody.
Wow. Can you simplify it for yourself?
Work, home, and me.
Right.
There are three different things that I have to
Right. So,
happy.
choose one thing that you're going to do in the context of any of these three things that you will do today. And we're talking about what you've chosen to do as being non-negotiable today.
Yeah, so the three things
One thing.
make me. But if I do one thing,
Yeah. No,
won't the
one
other two
thing.
get affected?
One thing. Oh, it's. But that's the old story.
That's what.
One affects the other.
So I have to choose one.
Choose one thing that you're going to do that looks like it's important today.
Okay.
What would it be?
Just keep my word
Keep your word.
for all three.
Choose one.
But I'm saying keeping my word for all three. It's as simple as maybe I have to deliver an edit today. Or at home, I have to keep the dustbins outside in the morning.
Tell you what. Great. Choose. Very consciously choose one thing from. If you want to do all three, great. Choose one thing in each environment that you will do today. Let's say you have a delivery today. I'm just. Okay?
Yeah, I do.
You do. That's it. So that could be one of them that you promised and you will
Yeah.
do. And just that one thing.
Yeah.
And then you might have other things come into your life and the game. And just remember because that's the first rung of that ladder of moving from confusion to clarity, if you want to call it that.
But the question is, so maybe I don't do it. Maybe I can't keep my word. I'm going below the line on this just for an example.
Okay.
The consequence is mine,
Always.
but it does affect a lot of other people.
Always.
So if I don't keep my word, and this can happen in context of anything, not just me, but
Yeah, and I'm saying don't go there because that's the big picture. The big picture is rather large and confusing and trying to do, and that's the old story, which is trying to bring balance between those three different things
correct.
and saying don't go there. Choose one thing that you're going to do today. This is for yourself. This is not about anybody else. This is for yourself.
Cool, got it.
What are you going to do?
Already thought it in my head.
You got it?
Yeah.
You don't want to talk about it?
No.
Okay. Will you let me know and will you remember?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Great. Thank you. So that's the concept of the line. It separates stuff that holds us down from a world of possibility and working together and support and collaboration and all that. And just remember that we're all in the same mud pit. And that we all deal with this, but sometimes just choosing one thing at a time can help. And then we can come back to the multitasking that you.
So that's
referred
the
to.
homework, yeah.
That's your homework for the next 1 week. And we will meet again next week. And you will tell me. So here's my suggestion. Conscious practice. Wherever you want to make a note, just make a note what you're saying to yourself and it's yours. Because I'm going to ask you about it next time. Yeah? Okay?
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Can you just like talk to the audience? You've got like quite a bit of people who are watching. Maybe just close it.
Okay, so if you've been watching and listening and you know what I'm talking about, try and do this for yourself. Things that have always held you down and you've always found a reason not to do it, or an excuse, or a justification. Choose just one little thing that you're going to do today or over the next few days and do it. And I'd love to know what choices you make as you try and move from below to above the line. Have fun. Okay.
At the end of the session, if you don't have existential crisis, that means
You're done.
something's working.
Something's not working. It's still not working. No, feeling good is different. I'm saying now the question must stay alive in our heads as to, okay, what the hell did I say and what am I going to do?
As in, what I'm saying is, I'm excited about this week's homework because
So it's not a crisis.
it doesn't
It's
feel
existential excitement.
like one. Thank you for giving me that term.